Okay. The neighbor is testing their car apparently. So if you hear car sounds, it's beyond my control. You know what? I thought it was chilly enough for me to wear this, but I am dying. So I'll have to change and I'll be right back. Okay, maybe this will be slightly better. Okay, so how should I start this video? Hello. I wanted to come back to this channel with something, but I didn't really know what. Okay, so a few days ago I was watching Nadia's video about the Powerpuff Girls leaked script. And she also made a Winx video about the same kind of topic, which is mature content slash edgy type of content for TV shows, adaptations of animations from the early 2000s, and why it makes no sense what they're doing. So yeah, basically I got this idea from her videos, which by the way you should watch them because I believe she explains way better than I do. The topic of today's video, if I didn't make it clear, is what is the weird obsession of making every single thing mature content. A disclaimer before I start talking about anything: I will be calling anything sexual related to no safe for work because it's just easier for me to say no safe for work than sexual related for some reason. So even if it's not explicit content, I will be calling it no safe for work anyway if it's like a sexual context, just because it's easier. My main issue with that is that every single Netflix show, I believe all of them, are obsessed with this idea of if it's a representation of teenagers, they automatically need to have no safe for work or alcohol abuse. I just don't get it why. Like usually they are everywhere. It's either in sitcoms or if it's like a teen drama, but usually I see it taking a bigger role in dramas, and usually the drama is related to sex, alcohol, and drugs. And if it's a comedy, the comedy is the sex, alcohol, and drugs. Okay, so the meaning I found for mature content is only the DeviantArt meaning for some reason, but who needs dictionary, right? So I'm just gonna go with my own perspective. I see it more as like a movie demographic can be for adults, because demographic, it's about which audience will be more attracted and interested in the content that you're showing them. So demographic, it's all about who wants to watch that instead of who is allowed to watch that. A movie demographic can be for adults, but children are still allowed to watch it. The only thing that will happen is they won't probably be interested enough. But why is it that everything that is towards adults or teenagers is so explicit in many ways? Like the amount of Netflix shows that in the very first episode, in the very first few minutes of the episode, when you're presenting the story and the characters, they're just going all for it, just in your face, no reason, no build up. Like there's no need for such thing. What am I even supposed to feel for these characters? I don't know them, I don't care about them. If you introduce them like that, for me, all I get from it is that they're horny teenagers. Is that what you want me to take from your show? You're not the first one. I've seen many others like that. Like the amount of movies or TV shows that just start off like that. Is it like a fan service in a way? All I see this being fan service for are two audiences. I'm 14 and that's deep. I'm 40 years old and I want another sequel for 50 Shades of Grey. Because everyone else is just so done with it. Okay, quick interruption. I'm editing the video right now. They didn't explain everything I wanted, so I want to explain fully what I meant. In terms of the sexual content and everything, okay, people relate to it, I guess. In terms of like drugs and alcohol, I was watching a few of the first episodes of like Netflix series I could find that were labeled as teen, and like I've seen 2 so far, and both of them had drug and alcohol abuse in the very first episode. It's the portrait of 15, 16, 17-year-old teenagers. I know it happens, I know it's a thing in some people's lives and all that, but like it's almost like it's romanticizing alcohol and drug abuse. It came to a point that I really think Netflix, and like I say Netflix, but I mean like TV series and movies, like big streaming services, they just seem to be like, okay, so we understand teenagers and they all are into that, and so we're gonna represent them like that in every single teenage drama we release. That's my problem with it. It's fine existing, I don't mind it existing, but it's just that it's always a thing. It's a thing on every single released show nowadays, and it's just so annoying because it's just all the same over and over again. It just seems like a recipe that they are repeating over and over again, because apparently it works for most people. I don't really understand why, because again, I'm only watching those first episodes to make this video because I've watched enough series in the past that started just like this once, and I was so tired of them because they are not interesting for me, and they are like they're all the same pretty much. That's all I want to say. And I really wanted to try to understand the appeal, so if anyone can understand the appeal, please tell me, because that's what I've been trying to do this whole time, and that's like what Nadia was trying to do the whole time as well in her video in the Powerpuff leaked script. Like, why does it need to be edgy? Why do you need to make every single thing so mature content and not meant for kids, as if becoming a teenager or a young adult automatically means that you're doing wrong things, or like things that kids are not supposed to know or see or do, which is like considered like wrong, like hidden, dodgy type of things, you know. Anyway, I don't hate any of the series that I'm showing. I actually even just watched the first episode just to make sure that it would be exactly what I thought it would be. Netflix is obsessed with this trope, and I'm kind of done with this trope, and I think most of us are. And especially now that they are not only making original content like that, but also they're taking things from the past and making adaptations that no one asked for and changing it completely with that type of trope, and making stuff that were bubbly and everyone liked the way it was to become something totally different and like dark, because apparently that's what people are into nowadays. I don't know. I don't understand the concept of the older you get, the more you want to see darker stuff and like edgy things. I really don't think that's a thing. I still watch SpongeBob before falling asleep, so anyway. I mean, going back to the demographic thing and how you can really present a mature story without it being explicit in any sense. Because mature for me doesn't necessarily mean no safe for work or plus 18. It's just something that people who are maybe under 18 or like or are not experienced enough in life won't get it, because it's something that you learn as you get mature, as you grow. And that's what mature content. I understand the way people use it generally, which is like to talk about something which is forbidden for people who are under 18. But there is also this interpretation of mature, which is something that kids won't understand, but they're still allowed to watch. It's just that they will probably find it boring because they don't relate to it. I mean, take That Poetry Society, for instance. It's rated as 12 because it's not no safe for work stuff. But do you think a 12-year-old will understand anything that happens in the movie? Most likely not. It's just something that they can watch because it has nothing wrong for them to watch. But instead, the mature movie, because it talks about life and everything that the movie talks about. I don't remember. I watched it twice, okay? See? It's a great movie, target for adults, and it's a safe for work movie. Is it that hard to make a safe for work movie? Why? Why does everything need to be sexual related? Why? Especially teen dramas. What? You know what? That's why I still love Nickelodeon and Disney TV shows until this day. Because their teenager portrait is more accurate to my life than any of the Netflix shows. I rewatched everything I could. iCarly, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101. They're funny. They can still make you laugh even when you're older. It's just a better experience because they don't surround the same plot ideas. They're a little bit more creative than any of those. You can show a character struggling without necessarily having this. If you need this for the storyline, I'm all for it. I'm not telling that everything needs to be safe for work. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the way it's being used nowadays is just unnecessary, uninteresting, and everyone is done with it. Especially taking childhood stuff from early 2000 kids, bringing it back as a live action, which why would you do it in the first place? No one likes humans. That's why we make cartoons. And they're all sad and edgy. Like, Nadia explains it better than me, so I'm just gonna tell you to watch her video. Okay, I'm gonna bring something into conversation. Am I the only early 2000s kid that started growing up, and between like when I was 12, like 11 to 12, I used to still watch Nickelodeon back then. There's like no teenage series like Glee or whatever was trending back then in like 2012, 13. I remember my friends being into that. I know they weren't anything like Riverdale or something crazy like that. But I remember them being like, this is for teenagers and a portrait of teenagers, but it was just something that wouldn't represent me at all. And what would represent me way more instead would be all the other teen kids show that I used to watch. And I remember feeling so left out and feeling childish for liking those things that weren't for my age. My friends were starting to watch stuff like 14-year-olds or like 16, and they would like question like, why are you still watching those Nickelodeon like kids show if like we're not kids anymore? Because that's the gap age. The kids start being obsessed with the idea of not being kids anymore. Just so funny to me thinking back to it, how much children want to grow up. And thinking about it now, that's actually not in my script. Even like dangerous if you think of it, because the more Netflix and Amazon Prime and whatever other like big streaming service, like since they're growing so much and everyone's having access to it, I know like young children will have more access to like this type of content. I just remembered something. I'm not happy remembering it, but it makes total sense. Okay, so remember when I was talking about kids that nowadays watch like Netflix and all that? I promise you, my mom's friend, she has a child. I think she turned like 10. My mom was invited to her birthday party, and it was a themed birthday party. And you know what was the theme for this 10-year-old's birthday party? Riverdale. A 10-year-old likes Riverdale to a point that her birthday party was themed as Riverdale. And the best thing of it is that everyone invited to the party got a t-shirt, and that's how I found out it was Riverdale, because like my mom came back from like her friend's house and she had this t-shirt on. Like, you have to see it. Look at this! She turned 10 years old and everyone in the party received this t-shirt. Everyone had to wear it. 10 years old. Riverdale! Like, I don't want to be that 20-year-old who's like a boomer, being like, back in the old days, it used to be better. But honestly, let me tell you, back when I was 10 years old, we didn't have like freaking those like I can't even speak. We didn't have TikTok. I'm really concerned about the next generation. 10-year-olds are watching Riverdale, because why not? I also know some moms that are really fine with that. They're like fine with their children watching like +16 teenage dramas with like 27-year-old actors. I don't know if I made myself clear. I think I'll have a really tough time editing this video to make it cohesive. I hope I can at least edit my video in a way that my message comes across, and yeah, I think that's my point. I don't know. My cats have now invaded my room, so it means that it's time for me to stop. Thank you so much for watching. I honestly don't know exactly where I'm going for this channel, because so far I've had like all different types of content and types of videos. I'll probably continue experimenting. I'll most likely be making reviews or stuff like that. I've been really inspired by Ordinary Dreamer stuff. Also, I found out Cray J, and I also follow Caitlyn for a while. They all kind of like have the same taste for media just like I do, and that makes me feel a little bit better that like we're kind of like around the same age, and so that makes me more excited and inspired to make videos about like early 2000s stuff that I used to like. And yeah, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you understood something. And if you didn't, it's on me. I can't explain stuff. So, well, yeah. Goodbye. I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, bye.